Okay, it is Monday, May 12th, and I think last week I only did a couple of videos and didn't do anything over the weekend. And I also last week said that I had some big news coming the beginning of this week. It's actually next week. I guess I got so excited. I knew it was Monday and it was a week in advance. And pretty funny, I actually logged on thinking I had an interview today, sat there for 30 minutes until I finally realized that the date that I was looking at was not until next Monday. But that entire thing is something amazing because it came as a direct result of something that was really terrible. If you've watched any of the previous videos, 3 weeks ago, I drove my car through water, had damaged the car, ruined it, but in the process of getting it repaired and going through the claims process with the insurance, it turned into a lead of a job that I never would have even known about or certainly not would have ever considered on my radar. Now I'm in the final steps. I've gone through the first 2 steps and I'm in the final stages of this. So that's just proof that this transition of a mindset, it confirms the law. The same law that all the great teachers throughout history, that Jesus was trying to teach us, I believe. And it wasn't something quick and easy. I think I saw the movie The Secret 15 years ago, and it made a lot of sense to me, but I never really implemented or made that shift in my mindset. And even though I would read books and go through periods where I was meditating and praying, I didn't really incorporate that into my life. And at the beginning of this year was kind of a rock bottom point for me where I said, hey, I'm either going to just accept it. I've lived 53 years and I've had ups and downs, and I'm just going to say to hell with it and take whatever comes, or I'm going to make something happen. And I made that decision and started in earnest every morning. It took me a little bit to develop the pattern, the system that I'm working for myself. But and then a month and 6-7 weeks ago started recording, because I really, as I was going, I thought, I really need to document this so that when I am in the life that I want, I can really show people this is where I came from and this is what I went through. And you don't have to believe me, a story I'm telling you. You can go back and look and you can see it. And so, it just shows that when you follow the disciplines and you put the work in, you have to get the results. It's not maybe, it's guaranteed. It will happen. And so to kind of, I need to make these videos maybe a little more concise, and I think I probably ramble a lot. I thought today the most important aspect, I think, to start at least, whether it is to get yourself to not feel anxious and to help reduce the stress, is certainly meditating. But when you do so, really focus on gratitude. And gratitude seems counterintuitive when you're thinking about all that you don't have or all the failures you've had. That doesn't seem like it doesn't make sense that you would think that way. So your brain is going to focus on, what you don't have. And you need to step back and go, wait a minute. How can I ask God for more if I don't even show what I'm grateful for that has already been given to me? And everyone is different. I come from a family that it's amazing. And, but my wife doesn't. She doesn't have that. Now she does now because our family, it's not my family, it's our family. But I grew up with, my mom had 11 in her family and aunts and uncles that all, I never doubted if they loved me. I mean, I knew they did. And, you know, because of the size of the family, it's not as if I claimed to have been, you know, super close, but closer than a lot of people are. And I realized that when I talked to my wife and all, you know, but all of them had children too. And so they were, you know, understandably, they're with their children and grandchildren. I have one aunt in particular that didn't have children, and it was someone who, she was young, someone we looked up to as a kid. She treated as like, you know, like she was a mom, but more of she just always was supportive and always had something nice to say, not just about me, but all of my cousins. I used to admire her. She was an airline flight attendant, and it just seemed like such a glamorous job that, you know, she had to travel and you know, but a lot of people don't have like that particular aunt. She would, you know, when I was really sick, she came to see me in the hospital, and I don't say that any others didn't. It's not that at all. Like I said, everyone has their own family, and they were all praying for me, all calling my mom, you know, my wife, supportive, all of that. But this particular one, she's just always got something uplifting to say about me. I'm not using any names because I don't want to, you know, I don't know what who wants their information out there, but you know, it's so lucky to have that. And I was thinking about that this morning, and again, like I said, it's easy to take that for granted because you grew up with it. But then I talked to my wife, and she didn't, and I see how she looks at that and goes, God, you know, that you're so blessed to have that. So I've got that. I've got a mom and dad that are beyond, you know, they probably do, not probably, they've been more supportive than they should have. For me, my brother, and my sister, and all of our families. My wife, to them, is their daughter. Then I've got my wife, of course, who, I mean, literally saved my life back in 2017. Had she not gotten me to the hospital, her and my parents, I wouldn't be here. And that's not maybe, the doctors literally told her if I hadn't gotten there, and they induced me into a coma that night, and that's the only way I lived. But she's also saved my life figuratively and emotionally, spiritually. She's just been a rock for me when, you know, it probably was difficult. And, you know, I'll say this, I know that I've been that for her, and I know that she feels that way. Our daughter has done more for me than she would ever know just by being her. And she's just an incredible human. Our grandbaby is only 9 months old, but I mean, she's given us more joy than I can't describe it. It's amazing. So the gratitude that I have is, it overwhelms any stressors, any anxiety that I might have. And I really put an emphasis on that from the very beginning. And for a while there, that's really all I could do. It was hard to even pray for something better. And so whenever I would start doing that, I would inevitably begin, you know, going back into, well, yeah, but you had this opportunity, you know. So I had to kill that and say, you know what I can focus on is the one thing that is nothing in doubt. There's nothing negative about it. And I just go back to that. And I still do, and always will. Anytime something drags me away, I'm going to go right back to that. And I say you should do that too. If you're out there watching this, I promise you, it may not be family. You know, my wife has a beautiful singing voice. She's gorgeous. You know, she's got a lot to be grateful for as well. And I mean, everyone, like I said, everyone has something. The fact that you're able to watch this, that's something to be grateful for. And it's easy to go, well, everyone can. No, they can't. Not everyone can. And you can't minimize anything. Everything has to be something that you find precious. So whatever it is, big or small, they're all, gratitude is gratitude. It doesn't matter the scope of it. Hold on to that. And if that's all you can do right now, then just do that. Take your time in the morning and at night and just be grateful. Throughout the day, as much as you can, be grateful. If you get a green light as you're driving, and you get to go through and there's no traffic, be grateful. Every little thing, build that pattern of your mind beginning to look for positivity, good things, and you will find that more good things come. And it is amazing how it works. And I can tell you this, I challenge you, because I certainly have never heard anyone say, well, you know what, I was grateful all day, every day, and it didn't do a damn thing for me. It's just not going to happen. So keep doing that. I'm already over the time limit that I try to keep them around 10 minutes. So I appreciate you taking time today. May come back tomorrow. I think there was a few things I was meaning to talk about that I didn't, but certainly back for sure on Wednesday. Thanks a lot.